Good morning. You are in the back room with Becky because it's noon now. Had a long day yesterday, so I am going to have a chill day. Um, I do monthly reports usually around this time of the month to my clients and let them know the status of their business with me. This is also the time of year that I work with nonprofits. I do grant writing. And so during this time when the fiscal year starts, ends, and begins different times for different organizations, I get busy helping them find money to run their summer programs. So I usually do that in the fall, and then I have to administer the grants during the ongoing process of the program. So for people out there that think Miss B don't have anything to do but sit up on YouTube and give her comment about everything, actually, I just very blessed and fortunate that I have not worked for anyone other than myself for almost 16 years. So, you know, I applaud Donald Trump. It's never been my desire to put my name on every building in the world that I own. I think it takes a tremendous amount of ego to be successful, but I think that there's a thin line between having a healthy ego and being a narcissist. So, you know, a narcissist is somebody that thinks everything is about them. They do not know how to process information to be empathetic. Uh, you can, anybody can sound like a caring person. I observed Mr. Trump last night on his show, and I don't hate the Donald. No, I admire what he has done with his business life. His personal life is kind of sucky. All those wives, all those children. You know, I mean, people really amaze me. The things that impress us today. Um, you know, we hold somebody in high esteem because they know how the art of the deal. You know, okay, well, you know what? There are a lot of Donald Trumps around here. Maybe they are not as vastly wealthy as he is, but I would guarantee you they're probably 10 times happier because the person who has time, all that business that he has, and he has so much time on his hands to launch a campaign against the president. You know, if I remember correctly, he went in on Rosie O'Donnell, Barbara Walters. He know better than to mess with Whoopi. But, you know, I think Martha Stewart as well. So, you know, I would find somebody else as my champion that's a little bit more credible. Because in the real world, Donald Trump is probably not the best person to sit up before the public and say, well, the Donald says and the Donald says, you know. He's about 2 minutes away from being another Charlie Sheen. Only thing to say with Donald is his drug is money and power. So his addiction doesn't readily show. He's done a remarkable job. I commend him. His children seem to be no more worse for the wear. But I think that anybody who, you know, nobody's perfect. Granted, no one is perfect. I observed that yesterday when dealing with so many responses to the video blog calling Donald Trump a chump. You know, and I think that anybody, you know, this is how the real world operates. You know, when you're in a business, you know, you do not talk about the president of the company in a disparaging way and show people that you have a lack of respect for his authority. So, with that being said, you know, I find it amazing that he's not being lauded as like, you know, nobody could get the job done, nobody could get the information, but the Donald. Now, you know, one of the people came on and they said, well, they asked Donald Trump for his birth certificate. I'm like, okay, I would like for someone, I'm going to do it myself, but it'll be after my bill paying job is done. I want to research as much information as I can because I think that may have been his motivation. If they don't accept just my short form of a birth certificate, then they shouldn't accept the president's either. How maniacal is that? You are not the president. If anybody finds out how old you are, where you were born, anything about you, it's not a matter of national security. We are now at a point that it is a concern that when everyday average citizens, and yes, I'm saying everyday average citizen, because he got to pay taxes, he put his pants on one leg at a time, he's going to die just like I am. He may leave more money than I do, but that doesn't make him a better person than me, nor does it make him a better judge of character. Usually quite the opposite. But I see that people are really far more superficial and materialistic than I had thought. And so when people talk to me and say, you are going on doing a show, and sometimes you don't put on makeup, and I'm like, because I'm going to keep it real, 100 all the time. I don't have nothing to hide. Like I told you, I'm not a rich one, but I'm not a poor one either. I am not by any means a racist. Like I said, if anybody looking at me good can say, well, oh, she looks like she something else going on there. Well, yeah, you know, I'm mixed race. So it's always offensive to me when we're attacking each other instead of reaching a solution. This disturbs me about our Sunday night debate is that after all of those comments, after all those hits to my YouTube spot, and nobody came forth with, say, go to CNN archive AB 123 and you'll see this statement, da-da-da-da. Okay, all the information I have seen so far is originating out of New York. There's a right-wing Christian organization is doing the mailing campaign. So, again, consider the source of your information. Do the people who are bringing this subject up have something to gain? Is there anything in the way that they're delivering this that will show you that they have a hidden agenda? Now, I'm going to tell you something. We don't always know when we're being lied to as American people, because we bought into that we're a democratic society and, you know, we're for the people, by the people, and, you know, da-da-da-da. Well, in theory we are. In practice we are not. We are still ruled by what they call the ruling class. They don't rule us in the same way because we have the right to rebel. If it's something we don't want to do, we can have civil unrest. And I think if there was to be an event such as what they're proposing, that if he doesn't surrender his birth certificate, you know, it would be, you thought we went off when Rodney King got beat down. You think we went off when Martin Luther King got killed. And y'all don't want to kill him, because if you kill him, you just make him a martyr, and we're going to come harder. That's right. So, you know, anything that you do to the president is very tenuous, because what you need to consider is what they are considering. Okay, now we do this at the behest of one individual. You set a dangerous precedent. Have you ever known anybody in regular citizens? And Donald's just regular. I don't care how much money he has. He still got to go and meet Jesus just like I do. So when you making these kind of statements, when have you ever seen? That's like they say you can't fight City Hall, can't sue the government. You think you can? You can file as much legal paperwork as you want to. Because like I said, you can say whatever you want to. You can't yell fire in a crowded building, but you can whisper. So my mindset is this. You are so busy trying to discredit the president because there's a hidden agenda. My goal right now is going to be, what is the hidden agenda? And why do you all have such a hard-on for the president and he only has 1 year left to serve. Wouldn't you have thought about this in year 1? No, I think the Donald is like a little schoolboy. They didn't accept my paperwork, so they shouldn't accept his either. Well, you know what, Donald? It's not even worth me worrying myself, because I know that you feel a sense of entitlement because of your wealth. We do not have kings and queens, duchess and lords and dukes, princes or princesses, counts or countesses in this country. So even though you tell yourself you're American royalty, you just like me. You're a taxpaying citizen. You got just a little bit more resources. But the playing field is even when popular opinion is concerned and involved. For all the people who said, shut up and get off of YouTube, ain't nobody listening, that's mighty funny because you was up on my page to make an observation. So, once again, my haters are my motivators, you know. So, how do you know you're doing something right? How do you know that the topic that you are speaking on has some weight? A scalded dog will holler. Now, that's a country saying. And we say that we mean, if it don't hurt somebody, it doesn't affect them in any way, they're not going to be upset and all up in arms. But this was the ultimate social experiment. And I'll be coming with some more stuff later on. But y'all not going to get me twisted up on my birthday week. It just is not happening. I'm about to go back to bed and take me a nap. And I'll see y'all a little later in full makeup and ready to rock the house. Charlie Sheen opened in Detroit. He was booed off the stage. One lady paid $150 for 2 tickets. It's a recession. Who's stupid, Charlie Sheen or you? The stupid people is the one that's buying the tickets and going. Chicago has always been a little bit, it's a theatrical town. It's like New York. We used to crazy. So they had a good response for him, but he had revamped the show too. Now, you gonna do a 20-city tour in 30 days. You might would have had that thing worked out before you got out there. That's, you're supposed to be a pro. But this is not something that he normally does. So, again, it's that manic side of him. It's telling him that he's invincible and he can do whatever. Well, God bless you, Charlie Sheen. You got 3 more shows to prove to me that you're going to make it through these 3 shows. And when you make it through all of those shows without crapping out like you did in Detroit, I'll be the first one to come on here and say, Charlie, for a drug-addicted, narcissistic, womanizing creep, you got game. I'll never have respect for him. Not truly. Because he got in the way of a lot of important news that was going on while he was doing his ranting and raving. The violent, you use the word violent torpedo of truth. It's kind of like you null and void everything else you said, because the first thing you led with was violence. So God bless him. Y'all can give him your money if you want to. He can't get mine. And I noticed in his book he's not coming down this way, because we would have the men in the white coats ready for Charlie. Ocho Cinco played a game in Kansas City yesterday. I'll have news on that later. 100 people, 100 flights were canceled on Southwest. We'll have more on that this evening. So, for now, you've been in the back room with Becky. And yes, I've had a rough weekend. And mostly because I decided to do this. But it is not a deterrent. I am a never give up type of girl. And I always will be. Especially for something I believe. And I believe in you. And I love you, YouTube. For the people. I'm out.